Welcome back to another daily draft vlogs. This is episode 5, and we're looking at a draft I did once. I think this would have been on the 1st of February, so not too long ago. First Premier Draft I did. This deck went 6 and 3. Let's see what we did. Arena did not save the first pick for us, so we just get to see that we first picked Vega. This is a card that I was super high on early in the format. I still think it's really good, but just not quite as high on it as I was. I don't know if I would always first pick it, but I think you'd take this over all the commons and, most of the uncommons outside of maybe some of the good green multicolor sort of snow enabler cards like Spirit of the Alderguard, Path to the World Tree, stuff like that. But Vega's a super strong starter, and you just kind of force blue-white after that and grab a bunch of foretell stuff and profit. This card is sweet. So I guess one other note about this is sometimes you want to hold on to this if it's in your opening hand. Foretell your Doomscar Oracle or something, then play this on turn 3 and immediately play the Oracle so that you get to draw the card before they go ahead and kill this with Demon Bolt or whatever. Or even the Shock, because this is pretty fragile. This will die to a lot of things, so just trying to make sure you get that value out of it. But this is a really strong strategy, and if this card doesn't get removed, then you're just absolutely doing it. So Vega's our first pick. Let's go to pick 2. So very, very strong incentives to draft Foretell, so I think we just take Behold the Multiverse here as one of the best blue commons, if not the best. And works super well with Vega. You get to draw a card, and then scry 2, draw 2 more. Why not? Bound and Gold's also an option here, and Rimewood Falls, being the best snow dual land, is also an option if you want to stay open to a snow deck. But I think you want to take a powerful common like Behold over a good snow duel, especially when you've got synergy with it. The snow duels, I think, at this point in the format, I'm looking to maybe pick them up on the wheel or pick them when I don't really have a clear, direction in the pack. And I think for us, Behold is that. Just worth noting that Frost Augur is not really a card I'm looking to start with early. You pick this up late if you've got like 10 snowlands and a bunch of stuff in your deck, then sure, it's gonna be good. But I would not pick this highly and then start drafting a ton of snow stuff. It's just the upside just really isn't there with this card. So I think we're taking Behold, all that being said, and we did. Okay, pick 3. Not much for us here. I think I'd be on Serulf's Packmate as just probably the best common in the set. Taking something like Raven Form here feels just too much like forcing. This card is not even a card I want to play at all. So yeah, I think I'd be on Serulf's Packmate here. It goes with Behold and the fact that we could just be a blue-green mid-range kind of deck. We could also take Feed the Serpent as a good removal spell and maybe end up blue-black. But I think I'd be on Packmate here. We took Feed, sure, good removal spell. I think it is worth noting that Feed is like a little bit of a step below cards like Behold and Packmate. But we took it here. It was, again, kind of early in the format. All right, back on the blue-white train here. We're probably just picking up, Doomscar Oracle here for the Vega synergies. I think it's just important to lean into your synergies when you have them. But we do have 2 other pretty sweet cards here in Inga, which is a card I didn't really respect at the beginning of the format, and Mistwalker, which is a card I did respect, but it's kind of tough. Like when you got this Foretell synergy, I think you just really want to lean into it. So I would take Doomscar here, and we did. Sweet. All right, next pick. Spirit of the Alderguard, pick 5 is pretty tempting here, but we've already kind of got a little blue-white package going. Problem is there's just not really anything exciting in this pack. Like Codespell Cleric I'm assuming is what we took. Because I was, super hyped about this card, and it is good. Don't get me wrong. Chuck a +1/+1 counter on your flyer or something like that's a real game, and being able to double spell and whatever with your Foretell cards is really good. So it definitely fits in this deck. But I also feel like we could just wheel it, and I think I'd be taking Spirit at this point in the format. We took Codespell, and that's what we did. All right, next pick, we could take God's Hall Guardian is a foretell card. Not an exciting one, but, decent. And I think I was a little bit higher on this early in the format. A lot of people were saying, like, yeah, this card might be good. This might be sneaky good. And it is strong. Like, a 3/6 is huge. It's just a lot of mana. But, again, Vega really wants us to foretell. So, I can see taking it here. There's really nothing else that's super exciting. We don't have the support for Pilfering Hawk. We could take Snow Island, but we have no synergies. Interestingly, if we'd taken Spirit, I wonder if we would take Snow Island here. But anyways, I guess we're just taking God's Hall, and we did. All right, and next pick, probably just an easy Rune of Flight. Again, like I was saying in the last video, just the more cards you have that say draw a card that, do something meaningful, the more deeper you're going to get into your deck, the more you're going to hit your land drops on time, the more you're going to find your good creatures on time. So just take Rune of Flight and stick it on your God's Hall Guardian and go to town. There we go. We did pick 8. So another Guardian. Don't really want the curve to be, through the roof here. I could really actually see like an argument for Scorn Effigy. This card's kind of just bad, but foretelling it on 2, playing Vega on 3, and then immediately casting this and drawing a card is like a really nice little 1-2 punch. So I think specifically when you have Vega, or when you're super, super in on double spelling, maybe you're in the black-white deck, I think that's where this card actually shines. And I would take it here over the second God's Hall Guardian, just to keep our curve on the lower side. We took Brinebearer Intruder for a similar reason. I haven't been super excited about this card as the format's gone on, but it does work with Cleric nicely. It can, help us get through in the air or whatever, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think this card's very good. I'd lean into the synergy, take Scorn Effigy. I mean, we're talking about 2 cards that aren't very good, but anyways, that's what I would do. Let's see what the wheel had for us. Axguard Braggart. Totally fine. Kind of unexciting card, but if they don't have an answer to it, this does kind of get out of hand, so sure. Wheel of Frostdogger we're not going to play. Invoke the Divine we're not going to play in best of 1. And late Run Ashore again, playable, but nothing super exciting. So that's pack 1. Pack 2, oh boy, we get hooked up with the Clarion Spirit, the mythic uncommon. I don't know if this is actually the mythic uncommon, but to me it is. It's one of my favorite cards in the set. Now we feel really good about having Codespell Cleric and Brinebearer Intruder in our pile. So, I mean, that does bring up the idea of, like, the more low curve stuff you draft, the more options you're going to have later, because you don't need low curve stuff. If we didn't have these 2 cards, we're taking this, and now it's like, okay, now we got to take cheap stuff. Because we've already taken cheap stuff, even though I didn't fully agree with these picks, we are seeing the benefit of that now, where we're able to take a card like Clarion Spirit that relies on cheap stuff, as many cards do in general and specifically in this set, and we get to benefit from that. So we're going to slam that here and move on. Here we just get to take another Behold. I think that's pretty easy over everything else. Oh, we took Doomscar Oracle. I don't like that very much. It does go with the Clarion Spirit, but so does Behold. This may have been an oversight. I would take Behold here. This does fit in our deck, but I would take Behold. Pick 3. Another Behold. Let's take it. We did. Nice. We saw that one. Pick 4. Not much going on here. We could take Batter Shield Warrior. This card hasn't really found a home for me yet. We're not going wide per se, but it is a 3-drop that your opponent's going to feel like they have to trade with. I think oftentimes it's going to trade with something, because there's a lot of 3/2s running around, so you won't even have to boast, and you'll get the trade if you want it when you attack them with this. And then there'll be the odd time where you've got, I don't know, like a Raven and maybe something else, and you jam with everything, and you get a couple extra points in. So, I think over what else is in this pack, I would take Batter Shield here. That's what we did. But I don't think it's particularly desirable. This pack, we're going to take Valor of the Worthy, I think, over Carful Harbinger, which is a pretty unexciting card for me. Valor helps us double spell Clarion Spirit. We're going to have little spirits running around, so putting a +1/+1 aura on them is actually really effective. Turn them into little 2/2 flyers that die into a 1/1 flyer. is a pretty nice thing. So, and this even works if your creature gets bounced, which I didn't realize until the other day. But so if your creature gets bounced, you still get the token, which is quite nice. So the only thing that really shuts this down is if they go like Bound in Gold or whatever on your creature, because even if they go Mists of Lityara or something that shrinks its power, you can still chump block with it and get your 1/1 flyer. So I've actually liked Valor of the Worthy probably more than I should, but I think it fits really well with what we're doing here with Clarion Spirit. So we're going to take it here, and we did. All right, and similarly, we could take Battlefield Raptor to work with Spirit. We could also just take Glacial Floodplain, which I think is the responsible pick. Having good mana, so important. Making sure you can cast your spells. So I would take the dual land here, and we did. Way to go, past self. So here we gotta start thinking about our creature count. I think we're at 1, 2. We're not playing Frost Augur. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're not doing too badly actually through pack 2. We want to end up with like 15, 14, 15, and we're already kind of halfway there. Couple of cards we don't really want to play, like Axeguard Braggart, but so I don't think we're in a spot where we feel like we have to take Lityara Kinseekers to fill out our creatures. So I think we just take Iron Verdict for the Vega synergy and the double spell synergy with Clarion Spirit. Being able to instant speed this, kill one of their creatures, get a 1/1, maybe like block their 2/1 with it or something. It just gets real fun. So let's do that, and we did. And here we'll take our Battlefield Raptor. We can stick Valor of the Worthy on it. It works with Clarion Spirit, all the rest of those things. I think pretty clearly over God's Hall Guardian, even though this card is pretty good. Maybe we'll get one more in pack 3 or something. We don't want to play like 3 or 4 of these, so we're going to take the Raptor here. Keep our curve low, maximize the Clarion Spirit. And I think Battlefield Raptor is just a solid dude, so take it here. On the wheel, we pick up Behold. Holy moly. I don't think this is happening nowadays, but pick up another Behold. So now we've got 3. Wheel of God's Hall Guardian. So there you go. We didn't need to sweat that pick because these things are just coming around late anyways. Disdainful Stroke we'll always play one of. I think that's a fine card. Harbinger's gonna maybe make the deck. Yeah, we got a lot of Foretell, so that works. And Giant Ox, hopefully we're not going to play. Another Raptor, feels good. And a bunch of nothing else. Let's go to pack 3. Okay, so Nico Eris, right. So this is an interesting card. I've played against it and beat it. I don't know how good it really is. It doesn't really do anything to affect the board. It can deal 2 damage to something the turn it comes down to a tapped creature, which is a pretty restricted kind of ability, like not very flexible. You get X shard tokens that let you draw cards, so that's real nice. And then it can make shard tokens that let you scry and draw. And then the plus ability, creature can't be blocked, but then it comes back to your hand, is a little bit awkward. I've seen people uptick this and just not attack because they don't want their creature to come back to hand. So I'm still kind of, the jury's out on how good this card actually is. I think for our deck, how invested we are in playing Foretell and playing with Vega, we just want the second copy of Vega. Like the extra whatever percentage of time that now we're going to have a Vega in our opening hand and be able to set up with, Doomscar Oracles and stuff and just draw a bunch of cards is, we're gonna draw as many cards off of this as we would off of this Planeswalker, and it's cheaper and it attacks them for 2 in the air. So all that being said, I think Vega is the clear pick here, and that's what we took. All right, and here we have so much card draw already with Behold that I think we can pass on Glimpse. We don't have a Mistwalker or any changelings to make it work. So this is a tough pick. There's really nothing that we need here. We're pretty good for 1-drops for Clarion Spirit. We're pretty good for card draw. Excuse me. We're pretty good for, big stuff with Foretell. So I think I would take Valor just because we've got double Battlefield Raptors. Suiting those up is pretty good, and working with Clarion Spirit is still probably one of the best things we can do, even though we've got double Vega. Yeah, we took Valor. That makes sense to me. Here we'll just take a 2-drop creature and Story Seeker. I think we are sort of in a bit of a creature count problem. I guess not. I guess we're doing okay for creatures. Maybe we just take Depart then. I think it's one of the two. Maybe we just take Depart actually because we got Double-Vega, and this just turns into like Into the Royal for 1 mana or whatever. Yeah, I think we take Depart here. Okay, and we did. Yeah. And here we're happy to pick up this land, and just have a land in our deck that can in the late game keep the gas flowing. We could take Nico Defies Destiny, but I'm not. I mean, we do have a lot of Foretell. I'm just not in love with this card. I think I would take the land over it. Let's see what we did. Yeah, we did take the land. Yeah, makes sense to me. And then here we'll take Rune to have some more velocity, which means so magic speak for being able to draw more cards, and you know, just putting lifelink on stuff, double spelling for Clarion Spirit. It kind of just does everything we want to do. So we took that. Pick 6. Now we can take our Story Seeker, have a good 2-drop. Pick 7, grab a Scorn Effigy, even though we passed that first one. I think this makes the deck for sure at this point. Clarion Spirit, double spell it works with. Vega obviously works with really well, so we're gonna play a Scorn Effigy in this deck. Oh yeah, Spectral Steel, baby. The old turn 1 Raptor, turn 2 Spectral Steel to get yourself a 3/4 flying first strike. Definitely count me in for that. And we've even got Valors to return, a couple of runes to return. So this deck's just looking great. And then rounding out the pack, pick up a Intruder, pick up a Warhorn Blast, Carful Harbinger we might play. The rest of these cards we're not going to play. Ooh, last pick Master Scald might make it in. We don't have any Sagas to get back, but yeah, we'll see. So here's where we ended up. Double Battlefield Raptor. We're playing an Intruder. We're playing a lot of 1-drops just to make the Spirit good. And we've got not too much going on at 2. We can always foretell something, but we do have, you know, our MVP Clarion Spirit here, Story Seeker, holding it down at 2, and or you know, hopefully just sticking a Rune or a Spectral Steel on one of our 1-drops. Even putting Rune of Sustenance on Battlefield Raptor is a good plan, since it, you know, draws you towards your next land drop or your next creature you want to play, and you know, you end up with a little Healer's Hawk, which is always pretty fun. A bunch of good foretell stuff with Vega, triple Behold, which is just something to behold, and a couple Godsaw Guardians. So this deck went to 6-3, and I think is a really great example of what a blue-white tempo flyers Vega kind of deck should look like. So the only thing I would say about this deck is it might be a little creature light. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we're at 14, so just on the edge. Not a ton of other stuff we really wanted to bring in. Like these Harbingers are pretty unexciting. You know, we could have maybe played like Axguard Braggart or something to have a 4-drop, but the card's not very good either. So I think, you know, given what we drafted, yeah, this is what we ended up with. 16 lands because it's best of 1, and you can almost always get away with that. So there you go. 6-3 with blue-white flyers and foretell. Thanks for watching. If you'd like for me to review one of your own draft logs, just post a link to it in the comments if you're using 17 lands or something like that. Or you can post it in my Discord, which is going to also be in the description. And you can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/alromusic. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you soon.